Welcome back to another episode of Rail Industry Connected. I'm Dan Clark and thank you for joining us. Today, we're sharing a story of growth. It's exciting times for West Midlands Metro, with a £1.3 billion investment programme being delivered, connecting the West Midlands population with more work, leisure and education opportunities. On top of that, further local transport funding announced by the government recently means more opportunities for West Midlands Metro to expand. Right now, the company is looking for skilled people. As it grows, more people are required to deliver maintenance on its growing fleet of rolling stock, and the team have undertaken a large recruitment programme to introduce more skilled individuals into the industry, and that's why we're here today. I'm here to speak to Matthew Bardsley, Shane Goodhand and Luke Williams about their experience with West Midlands Metro so far and how it shaped their careers today. Guys, thank you for joining me.
Great.
Right, so plenty of opportunities with West Midlands Metro. We are looking at an extension to the line from Dudley to Brierley Hill. The government have announced some additional funding in East Birmingham as well, down the new sports quarter there. More lines, more trams, that means a lot more work for you guys, doesn't it? How does it feel to be part of such a significant project in your community?
It's great to be part of the team for me. When I first started here, we only had 21 trams, and now we've got 42. And then you hear about these extensions to Birmingham and the sports quarter, Brierley Hill, Dudley. And you know, there's going to come a point where we go to Birmingham Airport and we're going to need more trams. So for me, it's all those things that make it exciting for me working here.
Massive, significant potential for the area as well. I mean, the whole remit for West Midlands Metro was connecting people to education, leisure, obviously work opportunities as well. Yeah. So significant levels of investment, but doubling in size since you started here. I mean, that's significant growth.
Yeah,
isn't it?
And it's not just the trams that have doubled as well. The depot, we're having a massive depot upgrade as well. So we've seen the east side of the depot increase, where we've had a bigger bogey bay, a bigger control room, which they're building at the moment. Next year, the back end of this year, we're going to see the west end of this building extend, so it's all going to be taken down and extended, giving us bigger pits, bigger berths to store our trams. Loads going on.
Absolutely. And Shane, from your perspective, how long have you been here for now?
I've been here for a year now, or just over. I suppose for the guys on the shop floor, it means as much about job security and the opportunities that are going to be for us there moving forward. Yeah.
And Luke, for you, you've just started on your journey, so how does it feel to be part of something like this?
Well, I think it's exciting because although I've only just started, I've actually been at this company for 4 years now. Wow. So I've seen a lot of development, a lot of change, both internally and externally, and it is exciting to see that all the changes and the potential that this place has.
Absolutely.
Luke's one of our senior apprentices. So when I first started, we had 4 apprentices, and Luke's our most senior apprentice. Been here for 4 years now. He's gone from knowing nothing about the rail industry, to, as I say, to being one of the senior apprentices who now, off his own bat, will go and look at faults on a tram, faults that he didn't know about. So he's got those skills now that make him that confident person to go and look at those faults on a tram, repair them, and have the tram back out there in service. Today, Luke's covering. We've got our team leader off and our deputy team leader off. Luke's standing in for both those people today. Luke's running a shift today. So in the 4 years, he's just gone from.
And that's indicative of the opportunities. I mean, from an apprentice point of view, to be able to lead a shift like that as well. I mean, that's significant learning opportunities, isn't it, really?
Yeah, 100%. I think the progression ladder and the opportunities are clear here. As long as you apply yourself, you can make the leaps and progress further.
Absolutely. How did you get into the role? Obviously, as Matt said, you came essentially off the street, really, not knowing anything about the rail industry. And how did you learn about here?
Well, I left sixth form with no idea of a career that I wanted to do. I applied for anything and everything. And then I got accepted by this place for an interview, and luckily they took me on, and I just thought, this is an opportunity to make a career, not just a job that you're going to be in and out of and then jump around. I thought this is a great opportunity to be in a career where, like I said before, the progression ladder is clear to see. So I thought it's the best opportunity to apply myself for the future.
And 4 years on, you're obviously not bored of it yet, so it must be doing something good for you.
No, I believe that it is exciting when you have the opportunity to vary your workload and attempt different things that you're not 100% familiar with or comfortable with. So you're varying your arsenal. I believe that adds a level of excitement, or if there's levels of faults that you might not have been able to get to before, and then you finally achieve it, you get a sense of pride in your work, which sometimes, if you're just doing the same thing every day, you might not get.
No, I agree. Shane, how did you get into the role?
So I come from an electrical background, but due to childcare issues over the last few years, I dropped into plumbing and heating jobs. So I just came into it. I saw the job advertised. My brother's in rail, and chatting with him, it always seems interesting. So I tried my luck and got accepted by Matt in my interview. So a year later, it's proved to be right. It's an interesting job, and like what Luke was saying, as the depot and the expansions go on, we're getting dropped onto more and more responsibilities and roles, and it's really interesting. There's a lot of interesting things happening at the moment. So yeah, it's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as Shane said, I interviewed Shane and took him on. And you know, it just shows you don't need to have any rolling stock experience to come and work here. And when Shane came to the interview, he went through a list of questions that we ask anyone, and Shane just ticked a lot of boxes through his experience with all his plumbing, hydraulics experience with all that, all skills that can be transferable into the rolling stock industry. And then, like Shane said, now you've been here over a year now, Shane, and he's gone from getting involved in normal maintenance, where we look after the trams in a bit like a car service, topping up gearbox oils, HPU oils, from checking windscreen wipers to washer fluids, to carrying out more intensive faults and repairs on the trams. And Shane's getting stuck into a lot of that now, as is Luke and a lot of other people here. But yeah, it just goes, those skills are really transferable no matter what industry you're in at the moment.
I think that's the case across the board, isn't there? You look across the rail industry and you see, especially from an armed forces perspective, a lot of the armed forces, when they're retiring from there, they're actually looking to come into rail roles because there are those skills there as well. But I think there's a lot to be said from a personality perspective as well, isn't there? I think that factors a lot into this. Yeah,
personality is a big one, isn't it? We've got 4 teams at the moment. We're looking at the whole part of us recruiting at the moment is we're making a 5th team to ease the burden off of these guys. That's how busy things are at the moment. We need a 5th team, a team leader, 4 technicians. It's going to be big here. Things for the light rail in the Midlands is going to be big, and that's why we need that team. Also, we're looking at growing a 5th team. And personality is a big one. It's not just about the skills, but it's about bringing in the right person with the right personality, someone who's going to fit into those teams that we already have at the moment. A lot of the guys here who all work together, they've all got things in common that they do inside, and some of them spend a lot of time outside of work as well. They've built up that friendship. We have people who, as you've said, come from the armed forces who bring a lot of great skill with them. One of our engineers, Carl, great guy, came from the Navy, is it? And he's got a lot of transferable skills, which we all of seeing him putting into, the job and seeing what he's capable of doing and the faults he's capable of repairing. But at the same time with that, he's training and developing the other guys. It's great to see. I've interviewed a few guys in the past who have had the same skills. So if we can get more of those people coming and applying for these positions, great. It's nice to get people with rolling stock experience to come, but they are, 10 a penny because the rolling stock, it's a big industry. You've got West Midlands and, Gemini Rail, Alstom, Bombardier. But, to try and get those guys with those skills to come here, again, would be great. I spent 20 years in the rolling stock industry before I came to work here for light rail, and it's a great place to work. It really is.
Always work available by the sounds of it as well, because the trains will always need maintaining, won't they? That point that you made about transferable skills, though, really, really important point, I feel. And Shane, from your experience, how did you find that transition from obviously plumbing, heating into rail? Was there quite a big change, or?
I think engineering is engineering, and there's a mindset what you have when you come into it, and engineering is about solving problems mostly, and so once you've got that basic knowledge, it is just adapting it to this work. The difference between rail, what I found is the safety aspects of it. Everything is very health and safety conscious. So, and the company put you through all the training and everything. So it seemed, driving trams and things like that seemed like a big deal at the time. But we've been put through all the training, and it's just an everyday occurrence now. It's just a normal thing. So, it's and the team who we work with, all the blokes. It's a really good set of blokes who and some girls as well who were part of the team. Yeah, it's a nice place to work. Nice crowd.
Good. And obviously, going into a senior role, the training must have done a lot of good things for you to put you into that position to where you are now.
Well, yeah. So Luke, who's the senior apprentice, is still my boss today. So it's not all about the position you're in. No. For me, it's about the work that I'm getting put before me. So, and the fact that that's getting more interesting all the time is the main thing for me. But yeah, I feel like we're progressing okay here, and my bosses haven't complained up to now, so hopefully.
I would say just off the back of that, what Shane said, about the teamwork. I think over the last couple of months, we've seen that level of teamwork just go through the roof. Even to Luke a couple of weeks ago, spent some time looking at some faults on a tram that you would never have ever had the opportunity to because your knowledge wasn't that great. We've given you time to go and look at those faults, not put pressure on you, not rush you. Same with you, Shane. And once you've repaired that tram and sorted that fault, found the root cause of it and repaired it, the buzz that you've got from that then has been amazing, hasn't it? It's great, and there's a lot of people here at the moment that are in the same position who haven't had the chance to, but are now getting the time to go and investigate and look at these faults, repair them, and when they're seeing that tram going back out, the buzz that they're getting is great. The teamwork and the morale at the moment from that is fantastic,
and that's what we want to hear. I think one thing I really want to kind of look into further, Luke, you've gone through a 4-year experience. I mean, that's quite a long time, from an apprenticeship point of view. How has that mix of training in a classroom and then actually being enabled to have the time to go and learn for yourself on the job as well, how's that enabled you to become who you are today in terms of your job?
Well, I believe the training in the classroom at college gave me the base understandings of engineering as a whole. Because, like I said, I was sort of not a clue what I wanted to do. I had no idea about engineering. I didn't even know about most of the tooling. I was really fresh-faced when I come into this sort of business. So the college side of it was the foundations, and then when I was able to come here and apply myself and apply some of my college work theories to my actual work, it was really motivating to see that I am learning and I can apply myself physically. As the time's gone on and more extensive work has been demanded of me, I have been able to again use my experience and my skills to develop myself further and feel more confident attempting anything and everything.
Brilliant.
Not just himself. Just before we came in here, I was asking his advice about some brake testing software that we plug into the tram and take it for a drive round, and it looks after the brakes. And I was just asking Luke's advice about that. So he was also instructing other people, not just himself.
I think that change in technology as well is really important, especially from a rolling stock perspective. Technology is being introduced more so all the time. There's new ways to find faults and reduce, downtime and things like that, especially from a light rail perspective as well. How have you adapted over the years in your industry? I mean, obviously, Shane, you're a bit newer in that respect, but how have you seen that transition? How have you been able to implement that into your work now?
I think coming from an electronics background has helped me because generally everything's to do with computers. Now, I thought when I came into the industry, a tram is just going to be a body with 4 motors and some wheels. But there's a lot of computer technology on there where we're plugging in Ethernet cables and different sorts of communications. One of the really interesting developments that we're just starting to get into is the condition-based monitoring. So the trams already send lots of signals out and they can be monitored when we do downloads to see what they're saying, but the end product of them signals often isn't monitored at the moment. So we're just developing some electronics to be able to pick that up and monitor the problems or monitor signals and conditions in different ways so that we can run that back to the beginning and say, well, why is this not working? So the technology it's moving really fast, and that's why I just had to have the conversation with Luke earlier, because as a younger guy, I probably would go to him for some computer knowledge rather than which is better in a younger person probably than an older person like myself. But because the teams are really good and really close, the knowledge is shared, and it's good.
Absolutely. Luke, you must have seen a massive change over the 4 years.
Oh yeah, 100%. The development and the more access that we've been able to get, especially recently, the access that we've got for different softwares and different diagnostic programs that we can then apply, increases the efficiency tenfold.
Yeah, with technology, I think one of the biggest ones for the tram is that we're one of the only light rail companies to fully operate on batteries. So our onboard energy systems, so our trams can move around the depot on battery, go through parts of the network on battery, come off wire. But for us to do that, it's about training these guys as well. So training these guys to maintain those batteries. And at the moment, that's really big. So Shane, we've just put Shane through a very expensive training course with a couple of other members of the team, as well as our trainer, who will now look at training that out to other people who come and work for us. Which I think is a really good course, Shane, in how to maintain our batteries.
Yeah, it was really interesting and essential really as well, because the systems that we're working on are 750 volt DC from the overhead, 800 volt batteries. So you got to know where to stick your fingers on, not stick them. So
So if you were to say to someone off the street, obviously West Midlands Metro, you're recruiting, and Matt, you said you're bringing in a fifth person there.
Yeah.
Someone that hasn't worked on the railways before, what would you say to them to convince them to work here, if they need much convincing at all?
Yeah, if you're prepared for hard work in a fast-paced environment, and you're willing to learn, get stuck in, and you've got, as Shane said earlier, you've got a passion for engineering. And digging into those faults and finding those faults and looking at software and seeing how those faults have occurred and getting that buzz when you've repaired them and, just working as part of a team. This is the place. You are going to have a job for life if you want one. It's growing really quickly. So there's jobs there for life if you want them.
I think our trainer, who Matt just mentioned, made an interesting point the other week. I think he's had about 15 years in heavy rail experience, and he was saying, the heavy rail industry is 150 odd years old. So this is a brand new industry, this light rail, and so he says we're just at the beginning, and this is why we're expanding and moving forward with all the technology so fast. So it's a really good time. It feels like it's old-fashioned because it's been here 20 years, but it's actually still right at the beginning of this particular side of the industry. So I definitely recommend it.
Absolutely, and from a battery-operated perspective as well, you don't get much rolling stock that's still a relatively new technology in the industry, isn't it? So.
It's coming through in a lot of areas now, but yeah.
Absolutely. And Luke?
Well, I would use myself as a perfect example for something like that, due to the fact that I come in here with no experience and then I've been able to progress throughout my career so far. I would say that when you apply yourself in difficult scenarios, although it might seem not ideal at the time, the progression can be made, and once the application is there.
Brilliant. Yeah, we're looking at, we've got an engineering department here, and in there's 2 engineers. There's a chap who looks after the communication systems on the tram, and then recently we've just put an assistant engineer in there, and the assistant engineer started 3 years ago on a Kickstart Academy programme where the government looked at getting them into work. And this guy had qualifications, but nothing relating to engineering. And he's gone from being on a Kickstart Academy programme to a probation, to a maintenance technician, to running the shift, and now he's the assistant engineer in the engineer's office in 3 years. So the progression is there if you want it. And I only had that chat with Luke the other week and said to Luke, you carry on where you're going, Luke, and that's where I could see Luke in the engineering office, guiding people, telling them how to fix and repair these faults. So the progression is there.
With the amount of opportunity that you have at West Midlands Metro, what are you most excited about for the future, for the next few years of your career?
What excites me the most is, one of them being today, and I said it to Shane this morning, coming out onto the shop floor. And I think there was about 6 or 7 lads all in the one area, all doing different jobs, but the morale and the atmosphere this morning was great. Everyone was having a chuckle. Everyone was, getting on. The teamwork was brilliant for me to see. And I commented to Shane this morning, and that's what I like to see, and that's what I want to see grow at this place. Another thing that excites me is what I said about Luke earlier and everybody else. The trams aren't perfect. They fail. It's just like a car. They'll have problems. And that's why we're here. We're here to repair them and get them back out there. But these guys just haven't had the chance to have that experience of looking at those faults and repairing them, but now they are. And for me, seeing the buzz that these guys get when they're getting the chance to go and look at the faults, repair the faults, and then get the trams back out there, it's great. So if we can get more people in there that want to be part of that, even better.
I'm at the opposite end of my career to Luke. I'm nowhere near finishing yet, but looking towards the end, and I'm planning on staying, and just looking forward to the new technology that's coming through, and still learning, even though I'm towards the end of my career now. So yeah.
I'm looking forward to the new opportunities and the new challenges that might arise due to the new expansion of the business.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time, Matt, Jane, Luke. Thank you.
Brilliant.